Bruticus. I'm Optimus Prime, and I'm going to give you a headbutt. Oh, hey, looks like I won now, haven't I?
I'm Optimus Prime. This is a Transformer video. Whoa!
Okay, Optimus, you can have a rest with the Minecraft guys for a second. Well, yes, this is my second attempt at getting a Transformers Combiner Wars video together. Let me tell you a little story before we kick off. Well, it was a few months ago I purchased this one here. It's Silver Bolt, and you combine that robot there with these smaller guys here. What is that? To basically make a great big giant, very superior robot. But can you see a problem going on? Maybe the back of the box explains it far better than me babbling, and once they're all combined we make this incredible looking Transformer called Superion. But I never unboxed this one, but what I did allow my son to do was play with these Transformers before we got to the review, and that was actually a bit of a mistake, as I found out, because he really did love these toys. Some of them look absolutely fantastic. In fact, they all look fantastic, but we have lost parts of these Transformers, and on Skydive here it looks like we've lost a wing. Almost said a leg there, although he's getting a special arm. What is that arm doing? And on Alpha Bravo we've lost the rotor blades. We just cannot find the rotor blades, which are meant to be up here. And believe me, we have turfed out this box many a time to try and find the bits and bobs. We've got lots of Transformers toys here. They are one of the most popular toys in our house, and with my son at his age. But I can find the constructions to those Transformers, but we're missing parts. So with the rain pelting down, that's what the strange noise is above us. I'm going to forget, or try to forget, that we've bought these toys here and try and make a review out of those. We're going to push these guys aside, away with Silver Bolt as well, and I'm going to concentrate on these toys here, which I think they're the bad guys. They're the Decepticons. They're still in box, so we're not going to lose any parts, and hopefully we will build up the Transformer Bruticus out of that Combiner Wars Transformer toy. Well, on my YouTube channel I show the receipt for the toys that I buy. I do not do toy ads for the big toy companies. The core robot in this set in Australia is a $49 toy. The smaller robots which attach to the core one are $25 each. So there's 4x25 and 1x $49. So I suppose a bit of an expensive toy. When you add it all up, you don't have to buy the whole thing to make the giant robot, and these were actually very difficult to find. Extremely difficult to find all the robots to make the giant nasty beast that's on the back of this box. There's a zombie hand in this video, I don't know why. I'll let my son get into these, and Daddy learnt the lesson about opening up boxes before we do a review when we start to lose parts. Okay, you can get into them. Yeah, oh my goodness, that's Optimus's sword and a zombie hand doing the unboxing. Hey, let's get into this. I want to see what this robot looks like. Wow, that's what I want to see. I want to see things getting ripped open and things getting pulled out. So this is the Decepticon Onslaught. I've got to say, while I'm doing the daddy sips, this looks totally awesome. Very tricky for me to find this. I don't know whether you've had the same trouble in trying to get this whole Combiner Wars things together. And look at the weapon this guy's got. It's ginormous. I mean, that's one of the biggest Transformers weapons I've seen. Oh, well, Onslaught's just done a faceplant there. This is a 13-step Transformer to make. He makes a vehicle like that. Now, I might have to give my son a bit of a hand here. We've been having trouble with these more complex Transformers. And there are also collector cards that come with these Transformers.
That's him?
Yeah, it looks very cool, doesn't he? Well, this Transformer is very well detailed. I like the look of it. It's got the good build feel that you get with the real Transformers toys. Mind you, I've looked at the knockoffs and they're nothing but rubbish. In a funny way, I think this guy here, Onslaught, looks better in his robot mode than his vehicle mode. Yeah, maybe we'll leave him like that and we'll get these other guys out and we'll start to make up the giant Decepticon.
Look how big is his face.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, that's the... oh, yeah, well, my son's actually getting him ready to make him into Bruticus, the big evil Decepticon. Actually, we had a bit of a scary moment there. We thought, where are the constructions? And they're actually hidden away in the cardboard liner of this box. And I think these are going to be very important. We're not going to screw these up like men always do. We will be scrutinising this very carefully with this robot. Oh my goodness me, the constructions in this one is huge. My son is very carefully looking at those constructions. Now, if ever there was a time to follow constructions, this is it. We're getting there, I hope. Yeah, they really make your mind work, these sorts of toys. Can be a little bit of frustration, but sometimes you need a bit of frustration to get that mind working. My son is getting into the other smaller Transformers to make Bruticus. You've got to be a brute to open it, that's the secret, I think.
No.
And keep an eye out for the constructions and the collector cards. And this was Onslaught's collector card. And what I like about this is it's a nice thick card. It's not flimsy. It's going to keep well if you look after it. And I'm sure that these are the things that are important to keep with these toys.
Dad, I found a comic book.
You found a comic book? Wow, that's a great idea. That comic book was part of the packaging here. It was in there. So as my son was unboxing this, out popped a comic book. In fact, here's a secret. He's never been into comics. Maybe he'll be into comics now. And now I look at this, there's actually comic books inside all of these here. That's a fantastic idea. Whoever thought of that, well done. That's great. Yeah, so I'll be honest here, my son has never really been into comic books, but I think he's very much enjoying what he's looking at there. Lots of eye candy without too much reading. That's what comics are all about. Yeah, well, in my books, no pun intended, that has really elevated these Transformer toys. Sort of curious, isn't it? These ones have got the comic book included. I didn't notice that, but now I do. But when I purchased these other guys, and like I said, it was a couple months back now, these ones here, because we were trying to make up one of the good guys, weren't we? But it was a fail because parts went missing. No comic book in those guys. And the comic book is forming quite a distraction. Come on, let's get into the unboxing! Rah! So Blastoff is out of his box. He's sitting there. There are the constructions there to transform him. We have to look very carefully at those. I'll do some daddy snips here. One right between the legs. Oh, that's a very dangerous one there. Another one here. What is that thing in the video all the time? Get rid of that thing. Another one there. And there's a bit of a weaponager here. I didn't see a collector's card. Maybe we get a comic book instead. So Blastoff looks very nice. He's a Decepticon. There's his little symbol there. Really nice toy. I'm pulling it out of the box because my son's still on that comic book. Now here he comes. Yes, very nice. So Blastoff's constructions, again, we get shown how to go from robot to vehicle. It looks like a Harrier jump jet. Well, that's what I'm calling it. Then reverse again, but the other side, this is the very important bit. I want to show this on all of these toys, but I think you've got to get your head around this. To make Bruticus, you need to transform Blastoff in a very special way by the looks of it, so he becomes part of his lineage. If lineage is a word. We'll try and work him out. And there's my son trying to get the lineage working. And my son is really keen to make Bruticus. Extremely keen. I don't think we'll see much else in this video apart from Bruticus appear. I will come along and pull the rest of these robots out because I just know the video would be way too long if we studied all these in hyper detail. Sorry about that if you're expecting hyper detail from me in this time. Well, my son is stuck. Where are you stuck? On level 6 here. Okay, yeah. As we've found with these Transformers toys, it can take... It's okay to be frustrated because from frustration you work things out and you feel good. That's what I say. I'll probably have to come along and have a good daddy look at this, even though I'll probably be confused. Mind you, my son's only 6, but these toys are ages 8 plus. Something to be very mindful of when you're getting these toys. I think I'll have to come along and probably get these Bruticus bits together. Well, say hello to Decepticon Vortex. Take special note of his colours there. He's quite a pretty Decepticon, isn't he? Now, when I look at the constructions to try and make Bruticus's limage, well, there's no colour in these pictures, and I'm really having to look very carefully and struggle to work out what to move. And what's really important and to take note here is that part of his weaponage, which is like a separate piece, Looks like some guns there, doesn't it? But it actually looks like one of the claws of Bruticus. Now, the problem here is if you lose parts like that, and I think we've lost parts from that other robot that we were going to make up, which isn't part of this video. When you lose parts like that, you start to lose parts of the big picture here. I think that's very important to understand.
Dad, can you do them? It's so confusing.
Okay, well, we are learning something about the complexity of just trying to make the core components of Bruticus. I'm now in a struggle against my mind to get Bruticus's core made, and it's starting to rain again. It's turned to night. Maybe it's telling about what we're dealing with here. And the amount of steps to make the core is quite remarkable. I'm actually up to here, step 11. It's basically a matter of just folding him up, tucking him inside each other, and just basically getting him smaller and smaller and smaller so he's the core of Bruticus. And the weather is turning really nasty. Okay, I think I've got Onslaught folded up to be the core of Bruticus. It was, well, for me, it was a bit trying. You've really got to take this step by step. If you miss a step or you don't understand a step, you are just going to come to a grinding halt. We've got really bad weather here at the moment. My son is over this already. I'm going to have to basically pick this up another day, although the video will probably go on. I think my son got that guy sorted out as one of the limbs. So basically we've got, that looks like a foot, doesn't it? I've got to come in and double check that. But I've also got to turn these guys into limage, if limage is a word. Yeah, the storm's really bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, look, we'll pick this up tomorrow. We will pick this up tomorrow. Oh yes, it's the next day. It's bitterly cold today. Winter has hit Australia finally. This is Swindle. I've turned Swindle into the vehicle that it is, and it is very, very nice. Remembering in Australia, this is a $25 toy, and I tell you what, you get a lot of toy detailing going on there. This is one that I actually sort of like the look of. And now that I have it in my hands, I like it a lot. But I'm starting to realise that to make Bruticus, there's a bunch of steps I've got to go through to get there, and I've got a funny feeling that it's easier to get to the Bruticus part once you transform this into vehicle. Yes, the devil is always in the detail, and there is sort of a repetitive feel to these now that I'm getting into them. You can see the arm there of the Decepticon, the leg part, I've just de-transformed them a bit here, and it's very similar sort of things. You tend to twist stuff around, it tends to want to suck back in. If I get that up, very hard to do single-handedly, but I should show you that, you know, it is simple once you know what you're doing, unlike, well, I didn't know what I was doing before, but I'm starting to learn, aren't I? And quite often, the little heads, and this is a Decepticon, guys, this is one of the baddies, often they are sort of tucked into the build as well. And I think I had to spin that round. I mean, it's very much follow those instructions step by step and look at the pictures really carefully. It really is something that you've got to study as you build. But I really do like this one here. It's a very, very nice vehicle. So a major revelation for me. Good old Swindle here. Decepticon Swindle can be turned into either a leg, and this is amazing, or an arm. There's the option to do both when you're making your Bruticus. And I think it's something that we didn't really pick up on yesterday. Mind you, it does pay to read the constructions. My son made Decepticon Blast Off arm there for Bruticus. And I hope he's made this correctly. I think he has, because it took him a long time to get there. Mind you, he's a little bit underage for this toy. But as I found out, he does it once and then he tends to learn the steps, and there is a repetitive pattern to a lot of this in the way they twist and turn and morph and move to making these components. All I know is to make Bruticus, there is a ton of steps to transform these Decepticons into the parts that we want. It's a very simple transformation, 4 steps to get Swindle into being a limb of Bruticus. And there it is there. Basically attach a foot component there. You turn those front pieces down and you basically pull this piece out from underneath, and that becomes the joiner section onto the Bruticus beast. And then it's a case of just getting the right limb and clipping it in there, and our great big Bruticus is starting to form. So I've got a leg there. That's his core body there. And I've got that arm on there. Boy, oh boy, this is looking amazing. Well, this is Decepticon Vortex, and I'm in the process of making him into the arm of Bruticus. And the bit that my son gets stuck on with these, and it is a bit of a mind, well, test for you, is there's a lot of compression of these robot parts to get to the limbs of Bruticus. Very hard to do single-handedly, but what happens is it actually folds. Looks very sloppy, doesn't it, the way I'm showing it here. It folds into itself like that. That's one of the core concepts in making these limbs. And you'll know you've done it right when it all lines up and there's a satisfying snap when it all goes together. I've just epic failed on myself. I was meant to be making an arm, but silly me, I've actually just followed these instructions here, and you know what it makes? It makes a leg. But don't worry, boys and girls, because well, they can do a bit of both. And another very, very repetitive thing about these and how they connect to the core of Bruticus is you spin this piece around here while the birds will go flying by, and that becomes the joiner there. And also we're going to whack a bit of a footsie on here. Okay, so it's actually, well, now I'm starting to get the hang of it. It's starting to basically all come together. I made a leg even though I set out to make an arm. Well, I'm out here in the early morning. My son hasn't woken up yet, but when he sees this Bruticus built, man, he is going to freak out. It's starting to look totally awesome, and there is another leg. And then there was one. Well, I've only got one option to do with Brawl here. I've got to turn him into an arm, even though it says there to make a leg, but we can make both. So I'll be following the constructions along here. This is the one here to make the arm piece. But what I notice here, I've got 11 steps, but they show it from going from a transformed vehicle there, tank. So Brawl here is going to have to do a to start his transformation. Well, here I am midway through the transformation. Have you ever seen a tank with legs? Do you think it's going to make it look nice? Well, there it is, a tank with legs. And again, here's that little piece where the parts just seem to disappear inside each other. That is something I see over and over when I'm transforming these toys. Once you get your head around that little concept there, it really takes away much of the pain of getting these guys to transform. And I think there's one final step, and then you pull this part back so the turret is in the right spot, and we start to get a beautiful looking tank there. There's Brawl, Decepticon Brawl in his battle armor there as a tank. In what may seem a bit forwards, backwards land, I'm now turning Brawl into an arm of Bruticus, and I'm just following the instructions step by step. Once again, virtually impossible to do single-handedly, but if I don't show this, you'll say, oh, but Leo, you must have had the pixies come along and do this for you. No. I'm actually starting to get my head around how these guys work. And then there's that part there, hidden away there. That's the bit that will slide in to form our connection point as the arm on Bruticus. And I think then I've got to spin the midriff around here. Looking a bit messy, but in a funny way. You know what? This is actually stress relieving. Even though it seems to cause you drama and stress when you're doing it, I'm actually feeling relaxed. Although that doesn't look relaxing, does it? I'm actually quite enjoying doing this. But let's keep that a very tight secret. Okay, get ready to shake hands with evil there. I've turned Brawl into Bruticus's arm. The very final step for me is to basically get this arm onto Bruticus. And maybe I can do this one-handedly, maybe I have done it one-handedly. And what I will do is I will cover this incredible looking Decepticon up, and I will surprise my son with it as a reveal. Well, I'll have to admit, this is quite the build. A very, very impressive toy. I'm actually rather liking this one, I have to be honest here. Remember, we had our comic books. That's the back of the comic book, so there were some of the little guys that we bought. My son loved seeing those comic books. That was a real winner. Very, very fancy. This is a massive amount of work, but I'm saying massive in a nice way. There's the core of Bruticus there. It was basically 20 steps to make the core. And then depending on if you're going to make an arm or a leg, really, you're up for a Transformer which has something in the vicinity of 60 or 70 steps. It's quite amazing. That's what I've got to contend with when I'm making videos. Guys like that. And that's why the bird's making all the noises. That Russian blue is back. That's the one which attacks the lizards and birds in our backyard. Well, I'll come and cover up Bruticus because I want to give my son a bit of a surprise and see how he reacts to this Transformer. Well, my son is up. He is desperate to take a look at Bruticus. Go around the other side and unveil him. Tinkering there, the legs there. I'm going to keep the camera on his face as he unveils this. What's your thoughts of that? Hey?
Awesome.
Awesome. It's totally awesome. Okay, well, my son is going to have to learn how to articulate this incredible Decepticon. Totally awesome. And you can pose him, I dare say. Pose one of his legs as well. See what his legs can do. There's a bit of leg manipulation going on there. Yeah. You can't keep your eyes off this guy once he's built up into Bruticus. Now I think what would be really cool, and I'll raise Optimus Prime here from the Minecraft ashes, is to do a battle between Optimus Prime and Bruticus. Hello, Bruticus. I'm Optimus Prime, and I'm going to give you a headbutt. Oh, hey, looks like I won. No, I haven't. Well, I'd say Optimus Prime has quite an evil opponent going now. I don't think Optimus could win against the awesomeness of Bruticus, and I'll tell you what, my son is very, very impressed. And what you can do, I set Bruticus as a pose here. You know why he's looking so handsome and happy? Because he's actually trapped Optimus Prime in his hand there. It looks really awesome when you set him up like this. Well, sure, that's one of the really awesome Optimus Primes there, but that's not what this video was about. It was about the true, utter awesomeness of the Combiner Wars Decepticon package here, which makes Bruticus. Now, if it was me, I would actually keep all this together. I wouldn't break it down into the individual Transformers again. I think seeing it like that is where it's at. Mind you, what has impressed my boy the most here is the comic books. And what is he showing me here?
About a good guy getting killed.
A good guy getting killed?
Look at the badge.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's one of the Autobots. Getting the great big shaft there. Yeah. There's comic books. Very, very impressive package with this toy. But, wow. Giving it the big thumbs up. This one, boys and girls, the big thumbs up. And here's another pose. I've got his legs sort of split. Looks a bit awkward, but it sort of looks cool as well. And there is Bruticus giving it into the groin of Optimus Prime. Boy, that would hurt. And here comes one of the one-step Transformers coming around to take a look at what's going on here. I think they're learning about, other forms of Transformers. Do you like that Bruticus Transformer?
Yeah.
Do you think you'll learn how to pull him apart and make him again?
Yeah.
Yes. The ones that my son probably most frequently plays with is the one-step guys. Now, what is the brilliance of these guys? And a lot of people said, oh, but Leo, they're too simplistic and all the rest of it. I mean, look at that. We've just done a transformation there. And it's a matter of pressing his button there, yeah. And when you're having battles with these guys, and that's how my son lost the parts of the other Transformers that we saw in the earlier part of this video, because they're always having fights there. Yeah, transform me for me, please. Go. Oh, very fast, wasn't it? That is the brilliance of these guys. I think a lot of the hardcore Transformer fans didn't understand.
And look at this.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. This is perfect for doing your fast, hardcore fighting and everything else. And sure, you're not getting the brilliance that you are seeing here with this toy here, but mind you, this is like, you know, rungs above the one-step Transformer in many ways, especially price. Yeah, it looks like a bit of a battle going on top of Bruticus there. Oh, Decepticon's been damaged. And it looks like he's coming into... Oh, he's pulling apart Bruticus. Uh-oh, he's found the gun. And he's running away. And I've done another pose here. Bruticus is down in his back there, but he's captured Optimus in his claw up here. And those little hands, they do articulate. The claws on them do move. That's the nice aspect of this. Optimus is trapped by that claw there. And also one of the other good guys down here is trapped in by Bruticus's other claw. And again, if you had this set up in your room as a bit of a Transformers fight, it is absolutely beautiful and incredible toy. Eye candy. You can't keep your eyes off it. My son is going to show us how this toy can play out. And, oh, there's Bumblebee, just done a very quick transformation. Oh, got the gun.
Optimus, go.
Okay, so Bumblebee has come in and given the ultimatum to Bruticus. I think Bruticus has listened to what Bumblebee had to say at that gun pointed at the head, and Optimus is set free. And you know what Optimus is going to do now? Boys and girls, do you know what Optimus Prime's really good at? Something like this.
You're not gonna beat the Autobots.
But then again, it looks like Optimus is in trouble. Oh, help me! He's going to be given the claw there. Oh. The gun is back at the head there. Knife as well. Okay, but I think you're getting a bit of an idea of how this toy can play out. Mind you, I don't know how long the bits and bobs on this Bruticus will stay together. Mind you, I think he's still alive. Well, in the sense he's still alive, he's still all in one piece. I could probably just send him up here. And he hasn't really fallen apart after that bit of a battle. He's just lost a limb. I think Bruticus's days are numbered. So with the help of the beautiful one-step Bumblebee there, I think that's a high-octane one. I think Optimus Prime has actually got an advantage here over Bruticus. Mind you, Bruticus has just brought that gun up and pointed it back at Optimus. It's the sort of battle that just goes on and on and on. And just when you thought you understood what happens at the end of these battles, well, no, Optimus Prime has been grabbed by Bruticus's evil claw again. Will he be saved again by the one-steps? Anyone knows? Do you know what we say at the end of our videos?
Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Oh, yeah, Bumblebee's come back to the rescue and is shooting Bruticus's head in a very evil way. Optimus, get away while you can! Get away while you can!
Thank you very much, Bumblebee, for saving the day. Bumblebee's just smashing and wrecking Bruticus. Who would ever have thought that Bumblebee would be so efficient?